Coach Schmitter here. Today we're going to be talking about one of the combine tests, the vertical jump. One thing I noticed when watching this year's combine was a lot of guys didn't have very good technique. Now, it's one thing to think that you have raw power, raw talent, and you're just going to go in there and blow up the test. But you got to remember that for these pros, there's millions of dollars at stake in how they perform at these tests. So the technique should be practiced and it should be perfect. Even if you're talking about these high school combines, a lot of these kids and coaches don't take it serious at all, but it's a very serious thing. You're talking about saving thousands of dollars in scholarship money if you do well at a high school combine. So what we're going to do today is go over one major flaw I saw some of the guys doing at the NFL combine, let alone it happens all the time at these high school combines. The best example was Michael Sam. As everyone probably knows, he had a terrible vertical jump. Now, is that to say that he's not explosive, not powerful? Well, the scouts will think that, some people will think that, but really his technique was terrible. So what we're going to do is look at what his technique looked like, and then I'm going to show you ideal vertical jump technique. So let's look at the Michael Sam version first. Okay, head was cocked way up, all right? He was looking straight up at the pegs the whole time. So when he went to jump, all right, he had a bend in his neck. Now, when the spine is not in ideal alignment, the body will not produce maximal force, maximal power, because it sees this as a threat, okay? Now, that's not the only reason that that's an ineffective way to perform the vertical jump. All right, having the neck bent like that. It's also just not ideal biomechanics. All right, so now let's look at a more proper technique and talk about why it's better. All right, as you notice, I went way higher that time, okay? I even stopped myself by pushing my fingers into the peg, so it wasn't even perfect. I should have backed up just slightly, all right, so I could hit the pegs better. Now, but the part that I'm more worried about, more focused on today, sharing with you, is what I did from the setup through the actual jump itself, okay? When you set up, you want to get what's called a pre-stretch, all right? Reaching the hands up high. Again, spine is in a straight, normal curvature, normal alignment. All right. I'm also going to get up on the balls of my feet because that's where I'm going to be most explosive from. I don't want to jump from a flat-footed stance. Okay. So hit that pre-stretch. Then the other thing you see a lot of guys do is they squat down too far. Okay. Jumping is not as closely related to squatting as it is a hip hinge. All right. It's that deadlift pattern. Okay, that's why the deadlift is very effective in helping you increase your vertical jump. Okay, so I want to drive the hips back, load the hamstrings like a rubber band as I go to jump. Now there is knee bend, okay, and the quads are active in pushing me up as well. Okay, but more so I want to drive my hips back, throw my arms back. Again, in this bottom position, I'm still in neutral spine alignment, so my eyes actually look down right before I jump. Then, after I've produced the power and driven myself up, now I can bend my neck because I'm already off the ground. All right, the power's already been produced. Now I can bend my neck, look up, reach as high as possible, and just tap the pegs at my highest point. Okay, not go crashing into them like I did on that one. All right. So there you have it. Not the most thorough breakdown of the vertical jump. We could go more in depth, but the main thing I really wanted to show people was this common mistake I see all the time, which is looking up and jumping like this, which as you can see, I mean, that was probably a 10-inch difference right there. So who knows, if Michael Sam had done it right, maybe he has a 34-inch vertical, okay, instead of whatever he got, I think it was like 26, 27. Something that's a major red flag for those NFL teams. Same thing for you high school kids out there. Make sure you practice these tests, have proper technique, because it can mean thousands of dollars in scholarship money.